Hi everyone. So, happy Mother's Day. Hope you all had a really good one. Um, me, well, I got my mom a glazed donut and I worked on a video with her tonight. So, yeah, that's my Mother's Day gift. But I suppose we can just go ahead and get started on the daily update now. So, yeah. So I was woken up to move my car out of the way, as has been the case for quite a long time now. I feel like this has been consistent for like about a month and a half or maybe 2 months. I'd have to look back in my video history, but I don't know if I have the time or energy for that, if I'm being honest with you. But yeah, moved out of the way, drove away, I moved it back up, and then I went into the house and I went outside and I was looking at the yard and just enjoying the weather until eventually I decided to go ahead and go take a shower, which took about like 20 minutes, I would say. When I was done, I combed my hair, put on deodorant, put on moisture cream, put on my work clothes because I need to leave for work very soon. I had a 12 to 9 shift again today. And I put in two bagels. Once I made a cup of coffee, I put some butter on those bagels, and yeah, they melted on there, and I spread them around and ate that for my breakfast. I then went ahead and left for work. Um, so when I arrived, I punched in, and my schedule was pretty much identical to my schedule yesterday. First hour was bagging, second hour was lot, uh, third hour was bagging again. I think it was the same thing with the fourth hour as well. And then the fifth hour was lunch, where I drove over to a donut shop. I wanted to get some cinnamon twist donuts for my mom and family friend, but sadly the cinnamon twists were not available. The only things available were glaze and uh, maple bars. So I got the glazed ones for my mom and family friend, and I got a white donut for me. I drove off back to the house. Our family friend and my mom went to a restaurant and had some Mexican food. They had some leftovers, so I ate those leftovers, and they were very good. It was like uh, I forget what it was called, but it was like meat and like vegetables and sauce and chips and corn tortillas, and yeah, it was really good. I ate that, and I enjoyed it, and I gave mom a donut, and she ate the donut, and she said she was disappointed that they didn't have the cinnamon ones, but she ate the donut. And then she got a call from her brother, and they were talking, and then my grandma on my mom's side was on the other end with uh, my uncle, so I was able to say hi to my grandma on Mother's Day. That was pretty cool. Yeah, she seemed happy to see me, so that was nice. Uh, and then I went into my car. I drove back to work. Oh yeah, and for my 10-minute break, I gave a call to my mom to ask what she would want for Mother's Day, and she said the donuts, the cinnamon twist if you can. And I tried going to our favorite donut shop, and they ran out of those, so I got the glaze. So yeah, I was getting that while refilling my water canteen with water. Um, because until recently they were giving us free water bottles, but it seems like the free water bottle stock has run dry, so I had to refill my own personal water canteen instead at a nearby fast food restaurant. So yeah, I then returned back to work where I had my returning hour. Then I had bagging for the second returning hour. Then I had sweeps for the third returning hour, though most of the time was spent just bagging because it was really busy night. And then they even had some balloons they were giving for free. There was one balloon I wanted to get for my mom, but sadly, by the time my shift was over, that balloon was taken. So I was like, dang it. Well, that's a shame. But yeah, and then my last hour was spent doing a lot. Every now and then returning to bag. Overall, things went pretty well. I would say it was a pretty decent work day. I did have one break where I decided to spend it going upstairs, and there was like this silly gag where I asked one of my co-managers to take a picture of me holding the balloons, and so I could AI generate a video of me being floated up into the air with those balloons, and because I thought it'd be a funny video idea. So she took the picture with me holding the balloons. Then I went upstairs. I generated the video using Dreamina's CDance 2 video model. And after doing that, I noticed one of my coworkers was eating on the other side. And that video that I worked on about like 2 nights ago, I was really excited to show them because I had put a lot of editing work into it. I described each scene. I had to have them boarded in a way by I used ChatGPT to board them, but I looked over the boards and I said, hey, that's good, but could you make this shot more like that? Could you make that shot more like that? Because I think that would make it more creepy or more intense or whatever. And it would generate it based on my instructions. I would have drawn it that way myself, but because it was able to capture exactly what I was saying with pretty decent accuracy, I decided to go with that because I just wanted I wanted to see the video done really quickly, and that was like a way of getting it done, and it looked pretty close to what I was imagining in my head. So yeah, anywho, I'm going off long rambly. Basically, I asked my coworker if they'd be interested in seeing what I was working on, and they said sure. So I showed them the video, and they said that, wow, that's actually genuinely impressive. It's like an actually good story, and yeah, and they gave me like a thumbs up. So I was like, oh, well, that feels good. It's like, thanks, because I put a lot of creative thought and energy into getting that. I mean, I'm not going to say it's perfect because it's not. It does have a lot of the telltale signs of AI generation, like not the art style isn't consistent throughout. Sometimes like the character moves in a way that's not at all how they moved in a previous shot. Also, there are scenes where like the character opens like a door and it like opens in the opposite side in the other shot. And these are things that actually can be rectified if I decide to go ahead and go back and redo the storyboard frames and be more clear with my directions and how I want it to end up looking. But I was just playing around. I wanted to just get in touch with the rhythm. Like when the shot was generated, I took what I had and I tried to cut it in a way that made it feel more intense or more purposeful or more, engaging and interesting. Yeah, and so I put a lot of, thought into it, I believe, So yeah, but yeah, they seemed to like it. I was like, wow, that's great. But anyways, after that, I went downstairs. I continued my bagging duties. Then I went outside, did my, well, okay. after my first break, I did my sweeps, which was a mixture of backing and, sometimes sweeping the floors, and then finally, before my last hour, I showed my manager. I asked to take a picture so I could generate the video of the video I generated during my last break, and they laughed and said that's very funny because it looked pretty funny. And then I went outside with my vest on. I pushed those carts, got them in. Yeah, and I came back in. I guess there's some miscellaneous stuff that did happen throughout my workday. That was interesting. But overall, a lot of that stuff I'd say is like, I'll leave that out because that's between me and what happened in the day, I guess the other more interesting thing is like I told one of my other coworkers about what I was working on. They were like, "Oh, that's interesting," but I didn't show them, so they didn't know what I was like talking about. They just got a sense based on how I described what I was saying. So yeah, yeah, that's something. I guess there was a coworker that was trying to cheer me up after that big change that happened recently, like trying to get me to like play the air guitar, and they were like, "Hey, I'm doing air drums, but I need my guitar." So I'm like, "Okay," and yeah, I got a smile, so that was pretty fun. Yeah. So those are some interesting things that happened at work, and then I, finished the day bringing in carts, and when I was done with that, I punched out. I gave fist bumps to my coworkers and managers, and I called my mom to ask her if she wanted anything from the store before I left, and she said, "No, I want you to work on the video with me." So I was like, "Okay." So I drove home. I asked her, "Hey, could you give me 20 minutes to just decompress, eat some dinner, and watch a video before we work on this?" And she was like, "Okay." So I watched a guy talk about or Inspector Gadget 2. How he said, "Ooh, this is everything I've always wanted the Inspector Gadget movie to be." And he was like going through the movie scene by scene and stuff, and it's the kind of stuff that's perfect to watch while you eat. If I could describe it that way, it's like someone being nostalgic about like some corny early 2000s movie, like showing like footage of it. Something about that's just like really endearing to me for some reason. Not exactly sure why, but I like it. Yeah, and as I was watching, I was eating this leftover carne asada fries that my mom didn't finish eating, so she let me eat the rest. So I ate that. It was pretty good. Family friend let me know there's a bean burrito, so I heated that up and ate what I could of that before I was too full. I put that away. Stopped the video. I had Dr. Pepper Zero Sugar too with the meal, by the way. And then I went into my mom's room where we worked on this video. I gotta be honest, my energy levels were so low at that point that I really didn't feel like putting a lot of creative direction or energy into it. I was just like, okay, let's just knock this out. So I was basically letting ChatGPT do the image, the storyboard, showing it to my mom, saying, "Hey, do you like this? Does this look good?" And she was like, "Yeah, that looks fine." And then we would use that for Seedance Ramita. The only problem was Seedance 2 didn't like the original generation because like the character had a human face. So we had to be like, okay, well, if it doesn't like that, then we're gonna have to do something different. Okay, how about they have a cartoony face instead? So they had a cartoony face, and it accepted that, and it generated quite a bit. My mom decided to write the world's longest outro ever for some reason. I don't know why, but that's what she decided. So we were like, okay, well, we, even if it wasn't Mother's Day, I'd still, work with her on it. But holy cow, was that long? Like, oh my goodness. I was like, especially after such a long day at work. And, I was expecting the outro just be, "Well, wasn't that a great song? Well, thanks for coming by, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye." But instead it's, "Well, that was cool. Now let me tell you all about why being an ad's so cool. And it's like so it's like, yeah, I think people would just tune into like the, ant song and be like, ooh, that's catchy. Well, I don't think people would want like this long drawn out like ending that just goes on and on and on. It's like, I don't, that's just what I think, but I don't know. Well, anywho, yeah, so we're working on that. My middle and youngest sister came back from their Comic Con trip, and I was excited to show them what I showed my coworker uh, today. So I showed them, and my sister was basically just constantly saying, "That's AI. It'd be good if you made it. Like, I don't like it that the AI made it and you didn't do anything." Uh, I mean, you know, I I mean, yes, the AI generated the art and the video, but now I had a part in it. I like directed how the angles were going to be and the different shots and the dramatic beats and like how I wanted each scene to feel. I don't know. I feel like that has to at least count for something. And dumping it all on like the AI did literally everything. All you said was make video. I don't know. I feel like that's a gross oversimplification, but I understand. I get it because it's not consistent. There's some shots that are different than other shots, and it's like, clearly, not as tightly made as like a professionally produced cartoon and whatnot. But I'm like, well, I wasn't making this to be a professionally produced cartoon. I was just having fun and trying to see if I could adapt this little story that I read one time. But I was just, told, well, the AI did everything, you did literally nothing. And I'm like, well, I mean, at least give me like some credit in terms of like the shot direction or the pacing or whatnot. Like the AI didn't do, you know, that was an element, but whatever, it's fine. It's not like I like spent like an entire year working on that. It was literally 5 hours of like staying up all night. So I'm like, it's not something I'm taking personally at all because why would I? Like I said, it took like 5 hours to do like that minute and 45 seconds of footage that I was just having fun with. So yeah, but my sister, she's an artist, and uh, makes sense. I mean, because she said she'd rather me storyboard it and all that. And well, I mean, I'll storyboard it. Um, yeah. Well, anyways, moving along. I am so tired right now. Yeah. Basically, after showing that and just being hit with constant criticism over it, which again makes sense. Um, we asked them how the con went. They said it went good, and we asked them how the sales went. They said, yeah, pretty good sales. We're like, that's good. And then my mom wanted to show them the video we were working on, so we showed them, and yeah, basically the conclusion was, uh, they didn't like that the British lady was voicing the character of Mrs. Bumble, which is the character my mom like has her face on top of, because they'd rather my mom do the voice of Miss Bumble instead. So yeah, so we tried to do that, but my mom didn't have the patience for it, so we just left it. And yeah, so I think we should do it, but we really need to like plan a day around that. So yeah. Anyways, when we said goodbye, said we loved her, and she left, and then we continued working quite a while on this thing, and holy cow, I mean, it took a really long time. We kept on getting hit by guardrail after guardrail, like, oh no, you can't generate that. No, you can't generate that. And I'm like, oh my gosh, why? Well, what's so wrong about this? We're literally just like generating the shot. Like, what's so indicative of non-generation? It was so frustrating. Yeah, we even tried to take in. I tried taking individual pictures of the storyboard frames that it sent us, and then sent those to Grok's video generator to see if we could get something usable there. The only problem was that the voice, for whatever reason, decided to change from, like, you know, the deep British lady voice to the high pitch, younger sounding British voice. So I'm like not sure what's going on there. It's really frustrating. But yeah, after we were done, I took my vitamin for the night because I said I was really tired. I don't have the energy for this. We split our separate ways. I took my vitamins, I brushed my teeth, and I decided to record this update video. So that's pretty much the day in a nutshell. I'm sure there were little itty bitty bits of information I missed out on, but I was just going through a broad, general overview of the day. So yeah. Tomorrow I have the day off. I'm sure my mom's going to want me to finish that video. So I promised I would, so I better do that. I'm going to see if I can try to put more TLC this time around, because I didn't have any energy to put any TLC tonight. I was just so knocked out from my long day that I was like, no, I'm good. It wasn't long because it was a bad day. It was just long because, like, you know, I went to work and then I come back and, like, I'm exhausted because I spent all my energy, you know. So yeah. So anyways, that's gonna do it for now. Thanks for watching. Very much appreciate it. And I will see you in the next video. Take care, everybody, and have a good night. Bye.